In this video, we will talk about customizing the frequency and the number of the resume and cleanup tasks that Nerdio Manager runs when it encounters a problem when provisioning a VM or deleting a VM or going through some automated background task. The place to start in looking at this configuration is this KB article in the Nerdio Manager for WVD Help Center called Advanced App Service Configurations. Nerdio Manager for WVD is an Azure App Service, and Azure App Services have a configuration setting where you can define various values to customize its behavior, and this document is the one that outlines the user configurable values that you can set. These options are advanced and they're not available through the UI. And if you want to modify them, you have to do so through the Azure portal. So the specific setting we'll be talking about is restart attempts and cleanup attempts. And that is works as follows. So when Nerdio Manager provisions a new VM, there's a whole set of steps that it goes through. It creates the network card, the disk, the VM, joins it to Active Directory, installs FSLogix if selected, installs any monitoring agents, runs any PowerShell scripts, and it's an entire automation that performs multiple steps until finally making that VM available as a WVD session host. If there is a failure anywhere in that process, either because of an Azure issue, because of some bad code that was submitted as a PowerShell command, maybe some API rate limits, whatever the case may be, if there is an interruption, then Nerdio Manager will automatically detect that there was an error and automatically restart the attempted process from where it failed 2 times. So you can see here the setting called autoscale restart attempts is by default 2, which means it's the number of restart attempts after an automated autoscale task fails. And it will restart twice. If it still fails, then it will switch into cleanup mode. And in cleanup mode, it will attempt to clean up twice. And after it has attempted to clean up twice, if it doesn't succeed, it will leave the task in an error state to allow the administrator to fix that problem manually. These 2 values, restart attempts and cleanup attempts, allow you to control how many times the system will automatically restart and clean up. And the advantage of increasing the number of restart attempts is it can recover from different types of failures by continually restarting. The risk is if you're restarting too many times, you may be wasting time and resources on retries if the underlying issue isn't automatically resolved. So when is this useful? This is useful when your failure that occurred has happened because of some, let's say, API limit. So your currently subscription may be out of APIs, and it's telling you try again in a few minutes, which is where this is really useful. Nerdio Manager will restart again in a few minutes, and it will succeed on a subsequent retry. However, if you have a problem, let's say with credentials, that's preventing a VM from joining the Active Directory domain, no matter how many times you restart that operation, it's going to continue to fail. So you'll be wasting time trying to restart it too many times. So, but if you wanted to change these values, you can do that. You can set up the number of restart attempts and number of cleanup attempts. And then there's 2 other settings that are outside of the scope of autoscale. So autoscale is controlled by these 2 values. Everything else is controlled by these 2 values. And these tasks could be image creation. It could be scheduled tasks that are not related to autoscale. Really, everything outside of autoscale is controlled globally by these 2 values. You would take this variable right here. You would go into your app service configuration, click on add new app setting, paste the value right here, tell it that you want to restart 5 instead of 2 times by default, click OK. You would then need to restart your app service, and that will change the behavior of Nerdio Manager. See you in the next video.